Hi, I'm Nathan.
And I'm Betty.
And we are Jones the Journey. Thanks for joining us this week. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and ring that bell. That way you'll get a notification the next time we post a video. So this week, we are concluding our series about who we are, what we do, and this week is how we find camping spots.
Yes. And that can be a little tricky, or it can be a breeze, depending upon where you want to be and what time of year it is.
Yes, and the kind of person you are. If you're a seat of the pants, let's just go find it, or if you like to plan stuff out in advance. It also depends on the size rig you have.
Yes.
Now, when we had our 42-foot fifth wheel, it was a little bit more complicated because there are some places that you cannot go with that large of a rig, or that have limited sites for that size of a rig.
Yes.
So, like most state parks, national parks, stuff like that, cannot accommodate something of that size, 42 feet, or even 38 feet or something like that.
Yeah, I would say you're better off in a state park or even a national park if you're under 36 feet.
Yes. And some of them are even smaller than that.
Some
Make sure you
are.
check and see what size sites that they take,
Absolutely.
that they have available. But we use several different methods to find a campground. Now, first of all, we are part of 1,000 Trails. We have a 1,000 Trails membership.
Yes, we are.
And it works for us. It may not work for everybody, but we can save a lot of money. Even though we have had to pay for our membership, and we have annual dues. Even with those costs, we've saved a total of
over $2,600 last year alone. We spent 114 days in the 1,000 Trails campgrounds, and that meant that if we spent roughly $50 per night on a campsite, because it averages out to about that, we were well over $5,000 in costs.
correct.
So after our membership costs and our yearly dues are out, we still came out ahead by $2,600.
That's correct. And we're on key to do the same thing for this year. As of the 1st of January, we have stayed in nothing but
1,000 Trails.
And with 1,000 Trails, and listen, we're not sponsoring us by any means.
Nope.
We've had to pay for our membership and all that stuff. But in most places, with the exception of a couple of states, you can make up to a 21-day reservation, depending on your membership. Our membership, we can book out up to 180 days. Our membership also includes being able to be in Encore resorts. Now, those are a little bit different. Those are only 14 days, and you can be in 14 days, and then you have to be out a week, and then you can be back in.
And those campgrounds would be part of what they call the Trails Collection.
Correct.
Which is an added cost to your members.
Yes. But we even utilized some of those when we were in Florida, and it's really convenient for us. It was really good when we couldn't find 1,000 Trails, actual 1,000 Trails campground that had an opening. We found an Encore one that had one, and so it has been good for us.
Absolutely.
And they have places to camp all across the country. Majority of it is the East Coast and across the South and up the West Coast.
The middle of the country is a
little
little
sparse.
less than what you would find around, let's say, the coastal areas.
Yes.
On the outside of, and across into Minnesota and Wisconsin, you're going to find some things, a couple of campgrounds there, but generally it's going to be along your coastal areas.
And if you're down in Florida, there's a lot, both Encore and 1,000 Trails. But if you're down there during the peak season, which is usually December through March, April, at that point in time, you can only stay 2 weeks. And but with our membership for 1,000 Trails, specifically 1,000 Trails campgrounds, we can go from campground to campground to campground, and no downtime or out of system time.
Exactly.
So, but when we do not have 1,000 Trails to stay in, we do find other places, and sometimes it is city parks or state parks. Now that we are 32 feet with our Class A, we can go into the national park system.
Yep.
And for that, we use a couple of different apps.
One of those is recreation.go.
Yep.
Or .gov, excuse me. That's usually where you'll find a lot of the state and national campgrounds, reservation areas. And then another one that we use is free campsites. That'll allow us to look at, or RVParky, excuse me. That'll allow us to look at the state and the county park campgrounds that are in the area, and that'll allow us to click on their websites and directly go there to make a reservation.
Yes, and RVParky is very good. It is a free app, and it tells you if there's, like, if you're just doing overnight parking, Walmarts, Cracker Barrels,
Truck stops,
different things like that. But it also gives you campgrounds that are in the area, and they also have people leave reviews so that if you're staying at a Walmart, you can look at that Walmart and say, well, it was too noisy, there was lots of trains. Or if you're at a campground, it'll give you the same kind of review. Oh, it's a good campground, or maybe it's a parking lot in the center of the city, and it may not be something you want to do. So RVParky is a good one to go to.
Yes. It also tells you about rest stops along your route, so you can plan if you need to stop, make lunch, go to the restroom.
Exactly.
And it also gives you information. You can set it up to give you information on whether there's water or propane available at, say, the rest areas, or Flying J's or anything like that along your route.
Yep. And so that is another thing, and we use that not only if we are camping more than just overnight, whether it's 2 or 3 days or a couple of weeks or whatever the case may be, but we also use that when we are just overnighting or boondocking, which of course is camping without any hookups. And that would be like a Walmart or a Cracker Barrel. Places that do that also are Bass Pro and Cabela's. Camping World also does it, but you have to call ahead and make sure that they're still open for a Camping World.
And that they allow overnight parking.
Yes, always check with the manager to make sure, because the store may say it's great for them, but the city may have a regulation, an ordinance that says there is no overnight parking in their facility. So, guys, if you are overnight camping someplace like a Walmart or someplace like that, let's talk a little bit about overnight etiquette.
Yes.
So, first of all, you may have to put some slides out. We've had some campers that, you have to have the slides out in order to get through and get to things, and that's fine. So what you do is you park along the curb somewhere where your slide's not going to be out in the middle of the road. You also park away from the entrance and away from the busy areas, or maybe around back if that's convenient. Go in and ask the manager where they would like you to park.
Absolutely.
Don't set up your fire ring or your awning or your cook stove outside, okay, guys?
Remember, this is someone's business.
Right.
And they are going to have traffic. And you certainly wouldn't want your awning being taken off by a tractor trailer that's coming past your camp.
Correct. And we don't want to abuse it either, because, if we abuse it, if somebody abuses it, it may spoil it for the rest of us. And when that happens, it becomes less and less places that we can. If you're going from point A to point B and it's 700 or 800 miles and you need to stop overnight someplace, those kinds of places are convenient and usually pretty safe to use as an overnight stop.
Yes. One other thing that you do want to consider when you are overnighting at a business location is patronize them. They're allowing you to stay there without having to spend the average of $50 a night on a campsite. So if you need a case of water, a jar of peanut butter, a loaf of bread, go into the business and patronize.
Yep, if it's a Bass Pro or something like that, go in, pick up a lure, or they have clothes, you can go in and pick up a pair of socks or something like that.
True.
And, or if you're at a Cracker Barrel, go in and get breakfast, or go in and have dinner, that kind of a thing. You're going to have to spend that money anyways, or make your dinner, so, go in and have a good dinner. Cracker Barrel has good meals.
Yep. Truck stop, you can go ahead and fill up your gas tank, It's certainly an option for you to do.
Yep, exactly.
And you just want to remember that they are allowing you to stay on their property, and as such, you do want to be a guest.
Correct.
You want to make sure that you're not making a nuisance of yourself.
And some other places that you can park overnight is rest areas. Some rest areas allow that, and even we've come across a couple of rest areas that have fresh water you can fill up your tank with, and they have some of them have dump stations too that you can use.
Yes, they do.
And truck stops usually have dump stations that you can use for a fee usually.
And I would say that's generally when you hit the south. The south of this country is really great to campers.
Yes, exactly what it is. But sorry about the interruptions.
We are still at work at the rodeo in San Antonio. It's effectively our last day.
And we head over to Houston to do the same thing
For another
over at the
3
Houston
weeks.
Rodeo. Yep. So
It'll be a
and
lot of fun.
we're going to utilize Thousand Trails over there too.
Absolutely. So one thing that we did forget to mention, and it is an app that we really enjoy using, and that's Passport America.
Yes. For camping, Passport America is good because what it does is, and there are some restrictions to it. It may be certain days or only certain times a year or only for a certain amount of time. But with Passport America, it usually takes the regular camping fee that everybody else would pay and cuts it in half.
That's
So
right.
if their camping fee is $50, as a Passport America member, you only pay $25. Now it is a membership; it's not super expensive, but it is a membership, and but it is very convenient. We saved a lot of money using Passport America.
Absolutely.
And another thing that you can use too, if you want to be a member of it, is
Harvest Toast.
Harvest Toast. Yes.
Now, we've had a Harvest Toast membership in the past. We enjoyed it. However, with the way Harvest Toast has just merged with Boondockers Welcome, and with the two of them combined together, the membership is a little bit more than we want to spend in.
Correct. And you can have add-ons too. Like you can not only have the Harvest Toast and the Boondockers Welcome as an add-on, but you can also add on if you like to stay at golf courses, you can stay there.
Yes.
And again, with those, with Harvest Toast, you would stay at a business or sometimes a church or something like that.
And you are patronizing.
Yes, and
if it's a church, they may ask you to do an online donation to their church fund.
correct.
Businesses will ask
Go
you
in
to
and
patronize
the
them.
business.
It could be a farm that has a small farm stand, so you're patronizing the agricultural way about
Yep.
that. But
The
everything
museums.
is local areas.
Yes, yes, and it's a good thing to use. We have just decided that, for the moment, anyways.
We're going to try
We're gonna
something
try
a
something a
little
little bit
different this year.
Yep.
So,
And there are other memberships out there. KOA gives you a 10% discount if you're a
That's
KOA
true.
member. And there are other apps out there, but Free Roam is one of them. Oh, no, excuse me, not Free Roam. Free Campsites is one, and that gives you BLM land. You can always camp on BLM land.
absolutely.
Check the regulations of the area. Most times it's 14 days is the max. And again, please take care of the area. Pick up your trash. Don't just dump out there, guys. You're not allowed to do that kind of stuff. Find a dump station. And, boondocking out there is nice. You get some good views, and a lot of times it's quiet. You may be the only one out there or one of a very few.
That's true. Which means that you're getting that really off the beaten path
Off the
feel.
grid. Yes, exactly.
You're getting some alone time with just you and nature, and that's really what camping is about.
Yes. So those are some ideas for you if you're thinking about going out. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope it was informative for you, and hopefully you can use it. So we're going to let you go now. We're going to sign off, and we will see you next week.
Remember, when you're out there wandering,
Wander with a purpose, and that purpose is.
sharing the love of God.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.